Okay, I think we have figured it out. We are live on YouTube and we're live on Zoom. So for my Zoom gals, for this particular one, we will not be able to bring the other directors in on YouTube. They'll just be on Zoom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the recording on Zoom after I get done talking, and then I will post the directors' comments and their feedback and post that to YouTube in a little bit. So thanks for all of you that hung on there. I actually don't even know how I got this thing to start, but hey, it's the first time for everything. So thank y'all for my YouTubers. Okay, so let me get over here to my Zoomers. I got a few on both. So we got 9 on Zoom and I don't know, about 14 on YouTube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute out my Zoomers for right now, and I'm going to mute you guys out. Okay, here we go. So everybody should be muted out. All right, awesome. Okay, so hey everybody, we're just going to try something new. Next week we're going to do this a little bit different. I won't have a link to start the YouTube video like we're doing today. Instead, I'm just going to go live, and you can just go to my channel and you'll see it started. And then that way, everybody that's on Zoom will also be on the YouTube as well. So it'll make it easier, but I didn't figure that out till later. So my name is Cleta Colson-Eyre. It is January the 26th, 2020. We have in Mary Kay 5 days left, not counting tonight, for the end of the month. It has been a long month. You guys got to admit that. And so I wanted to talk to you about finishing strong in January. Y'all know we have double credit. And so a lot of us are just thinking something magical is going to happen, and we're going to sell $4,000 so that we can order our $2,000 in the next 2 days. And so if you've been sitting there just waiting, it's time to get busy, because time is of the essence, because we have to have all orders in by Friday. Okay. So I want to read you I want to share you a little something that is, you know how you always get a word at church, right? I know I do. I always do. I went to Sunday school this morning, and they were talking about different things. But one of the things they were talking about is being financially responsible and some different things like that. But anyway, they started talking about focusing on the goal. And I'm like, ding, ding, ding. I have to share that with the boss babes. Okay. So if you are a Bible reader and you want to jot this down, this is in Philippians 3, and it starts in verse 12. And I'm going to read you something. I want to tell you that the writer of Philippians is Paul, the Apostle Paul. And at the time, he was about 61 years old. And, you know, he could have said, he had a lot to boast about, but he always said, that he wasn't going to boast of the things he's done for himself. Instead, that he would only boast the things that he did for the Lord. And so I want to read this to you, but then I want to apply it to Mary Kay. Okay, so it says, starts in verse 12. I'm not saying that I have this all together, that I have made it, but I'm well on my way, reaching out for Christ, who has so wondrously reached out for me. Friends, don't get me wrong. By no means do I count myself an expert in all of this. I've got my eye on the goal, where God is beckoning us onward to Jesus. I'm off and running, and I'm not turning back. So let's keep focused on that goal, those of us who want everything God has for us. If any of you have something else in mind, something less than total commitment, God will clear your blurred vision. You'll see it yet. Now that we're on track, let's stay on it. Stick with me, friends. Keep track of those you see running the same course, headed for the same goal. There are many out there taking other paths, choosing other goals, and trying to get you to go along with them. I've warned you of them many times. Sadly, I'm having to do it again. All they want is easy street. They hate Christ's cross, but easy street is a dead-end street. Those who live there make their bellies with gods, belches are their praise, and all they can think of is their appetites. Anyway, and so this is in the Message, so it's, kind of more everyday talk. So the thing that struck me when I heard this morning was that you got to forget the past. You're pressing forward, forgetting the past. And so some of us, and I'm including myself in this, is I can look at the last 6 months, or, and you may have been just jumped off the best 6 months of your Mary Kay career. And if you have, I am so excited for you. Just keep going. You know what I mean? Don't slow down. Don't look to the right, to the left. run your path. But then there's some of us that maybe your last 6 months, the first half of the year, just was not what you wanted it. You had big goals and you're not where you wanted to be. And maybe you, as a consultant, you thought, I want to be a director by leadership conference. Now leadership is come and gone. And you thought, well, I didn't get to do it. Here I am. That was my goal. Or maybe you just wanted to be in your red jacket and you're like, you had a recruiter too, and now they've quit and now you're back to zero or something. Or maybe you wanted to be more on target, like as a sales director for a unit club or $500,000 or top director trip, whatever it is. Maybe you're just not right where you thought you'd be at this time. Well, I want to come on today to encourage you that it's not over. And we could, at this point, give up and go, well, it's just not going to happen. Now, I'll just say, like for me, like the top director trip, we have won 7 in a row. And we are behind on being on target for the top director trip. And I'm like, what's happening? Last year, our unit did the best we've ever done. And then this year, it's just a whole different kind of weird year. And I thought, you know what? I've got to focus on the goal, not what has already happened, because we can't change one single thing about what happened yesterday or even the first 25 days, 26 days of this month. We can't change it. You can only change a few hours left on the 26th. But other than that, it's over. It's absolutely over, and you cannot change the past. We all know that, but we all go back, and you can analyze the past, and you can talk about the past, and you can see why the past, and that's good. It's good to reflect. It's good to evaluate. But you guys, we can't get stuck in the past of what we did or did not do. All we can do is look to the future and what we want to see in the next 6 months or the next 5 months and 5 days, okay, for the seminar year, Mary Kay. And then what you want the rest of this this year, 2020, to look like. What do you want it to look like? And you can make a change right now. And so no matter what has happened to you, and there's a lot of things that have happened to people. I'm sure y'all saw about the helicopter crash and that Kobe Bryant, famous basketball player, and his daughter were killed. It's just awful. I mean, people are going through a lot of stuff right now, and people, friends of mine, people here. I found out today about a girl, 2 different people that are, one was 37, one was 40, that died from the flu around here. And so it's just like, what? So there's been a lot of tough things that have happened this last year, this last month, maybe even this last week for you. But you guys, we have to press on. And so with our Mary Kay goals, we have goals. We want to achieve things. We want to win. We want to get the big prize, the golden nugget. whatever it is. And of course, all the things that we want in Mary Kay, they're goals to help us push ourselves. And in between those times, you're gonna reach people, like you're gonna change women's lives, like maybe their skin, and then you might change their attitude because they feel like they look better, and then they may start being a little nicer to people, and then they might be a better mom. Then you might recruit her, and then she might make some extra money, and that may help her financially. So every single thing that you do is going to help other people too, not just you to get whatever you're going for, whether it's a trip, whether it's a diamond ring, whether it's $500,000, whether it's in getting your red jacket. All of that is just, we have business goals, and the business goals help us toward our personal goals, which are to be a better person, a better mom, a better mom, a better wife, a better sister, mother, daughter, friend. That's really what we want. I went to a funeral on Sunday, and I sang in a funeral, and it's kind of a crazy thing because it's this girl that her name is someone, I thought that she graduated with my brother from high school, and her family goes to our church. Well, this whole time I thought it was this one girl. And then when I got to the funeral, I know y'all gonna think it's crazy, but I'm a funeral singer. I know something you wouldn't know about me. But anyway, I get there and it's a different woman. There's this one girl, I'm not gonna say their names, but anyway, let's just say Mary. Okay, but it was a unique name. And so it wasn't the Mary I thought that passed away. It was a different Mary. And it's a lady I didn't even know when I thought I was going to this other girl's funeral. I know, it's so crazy, but why am I saying all that? Because when you go to funerals, you realize life is short, and then you hear someone that's young that passes away, and even one that's lived a good life, that a long life has passed away. Life is short, and so we got to quit procrastinating on things that we want to do and that we want to get done, and I found myself today when I was looking up this guy that just died. I was looking at his obituaries, and then I started scrolling down the obituaries. I know y'all thinking this call is so crazy, but anyway, I just started thinking about, well, what if my name was right there in the obituaries? I mean, like, it was done. What all have I done? What do I want to get done? And what am I waiting around for? And here was Paul. He's 60-something years old. He's done a lot in his life, but he kept going, and he kept writing, and he kept working, and so he did not give up on the goal. And so, we have to, we want to look at the past, but we can't change it, and we got to look toward the future. And so right now, I want you to look for the future of January 31st, the end of this month, which is Friday. What are you really pushing for? Like, do you want to finish and be a DIQ by February 1st so that you can go into qualification February and March? And, you could do it 1 month and be a director by career conference, or at least go to career conference as a DIQ and finish up by March or April. And then you'd have a few good months in to be a director before the end of, before seminar, right? So, I mean, is that what you want? Well, guess what? You have time to do that in 1 week. And, if maybe you were thinking, I want to max out the double credit for my unit. If you're a director, that's $20,000 wholesale. So we got to really get on that. And you think, how could I do that? Could you do it through new recruits? That's probably going to be the best thing in your unit. New recruits, their inventory orders, your own personals, and something like that. For consultants, if you're working, and directors, if you're for the National Queen's Court of Sales, you want to max that out. I mean, it's really huge. If you do a 2,000 wholesale, it counts as 4,000 normally. It'll count as 8,000. And so that is huge toward the court. I mean, it's a third of the court done in 1 month. So if you're behind, that's a way to catch up right there. So let's say you've sold not one single thing, which I doubt that for all of you boss babes, but let's just say you haven't sold anything and you really would like to max out your double credit. So that's a $2,000 wholesale order. So you would need to sell 4,000, right? Unless you're sitting there and you really have no inventory and you want to just put your money back in. But let's say you have some inventory and you really need to sell 4,000, and so you can take your profit and everything, right? So that's selling 4,000 this week. So we have 5 days left, right? So that's $800 a day. Now, I bet some of you or most of you have sold 800 in 1 day by having either a really good party, or maybe you had a sale, or something like that. So I was thinking, what is coming up in 3 weeks? Valentine's Day. So we've talked about this a little bit, but Valentine's Day is something that you could do this week and collect the money, even if you're sitting there with nothing on your shelf to sell. You have time to get the sale and order the product. And I would highly suggest, if you're sitting there with not a lot of inventory for gifts, that you get the Valentine's Day sale now before the end of the month, so you can order it so it can be in time for you to fluff it up and deliver it. So, we've all heard about, we had our satin body for Christmas, and this same one, you can take this off and put you a pretty cute bow on, and then you can fix it up, and they've got the cute little cards now that's all about, Cindy Williams does a great job, so I'm not going to try to repeat that, but it basically has your satin body, your satin hands, and your satin lips, and then you can put something else in here and leave it just like that. You can sell these pretty easy to guys, and because they don't really know exactly what it is anyway, and it's a generic gift, so that even people that aren't your customers would love that. And so let's say you sold for $150 or so. You could call or Facebook or text. First, you want to make a list of guys. You want to make a list of about really 25 to 50 guys, and all you have to do is think, all right, who are all my girlfriends? Who are all their husbands, right? And it can be any age. This could be, a 60-year-old woman would love this, a 20-year-old girl would love this. Fathers could give it to daughters even. And so if you had a father, he could give it, one for each daughter, or one for his wife as well, right? So if you think about those, if you sold, let's see, 5 $150 baskets, right? If you sold 5, that would be 150 times 5. Wait a minute. I should be able to do that easy. That's $750. Okay. So if you sold about 20 of those, 20, 25 of these, you'd have it done. Now you might think that's a lot, but you know what, guys? They need our help, and they'll spend more than women most of the time. They'll just give you their visa, and you can just do it. And so that will be a great way and an easy way is to, or at least a start to sell, have a goal to sell 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, or 25 of these bags and keep it really simple and sell everybody the same thing. The other thing that you could really promote this month is perfumes. Okay. If you don't even have any samples, maybe you purchase the small ones that we got for Christmas of the Cityscape, and there was 3 of them, that you could do. And those are great little trials. And you take those, or just take some that you have in stock, put them on cotton balls, and let people, and sell perfumes, because that's something that's really easy to sell. You can let people smell them, and they can just order them. It's just so easy, right? Of course, the normal way, the best way, skincare classes. You could do 3 or 4 skincare classes this week. And, I know I've had a party that was $1,600. It's very common to have parties that are $300, $400, $500, $600 parties, right? And so if you had 3 or 4 parties this week, that would be some instant money to help you do that. Plus, you make some money. Hey, we want to make money too, right? Not just order products. And it will give you some booking prospects. If you have a sales meeting this week, this would be a great week to invite 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. I ran into a girl just recently, and I invited her to the sales meeting. And so, I text her. I didn't have her phone number. I saw her, I hadn't seen her in years. So I found her. This is what's kind of crazy. It's on Facebook Messenger. If you haven't deleted your messages, they all stay there. So I found the girl, and I messaged her on Facebook. And the last time I had messaged her on Facebook was in 2011. I think it's the last time I'd seen her. And I kind of read what we had talked about then. It was this thing that we all went to together. And so I messaged her, and I said, "It's so great to see you today." And I just said, I asked her if she would be interested in maybe trying Mary Kay. And she tried it in the past, but she doesn't use it. And so she's probably going to come to my sales meeting and be a guest. And I asked her to bring her friend that was sitting with her. And, so there's things like that you could do and get some people up for your sales meeting this week. Because then you got your directors there as a backup to help you, right? And then possibly you could get a recruit too. So let's talk about that. Maxing out your double credit for your team members. If you could even get the agreements in, you guys, even if the orders don't go in, it's going to count double for you if they become qualified by April. So that's a long time to get people qualified. So I just feel like that a lot of people have been sitting on this or just not paying attention and thinking, I don't know. But now it's time to do it. It's time to put the pedal to the metal. You got 5 days, and all of us can get it done. So let's forget the past. Let's press forward to the goal. Let's not look at other people who are changing their mind about the goal. That's one of the part in the verse that says, there's a lot of other people trying to do other things. Remember, choosing other paths, choosing other goals, trying to get you to go along with them. Now, of course, this is talk about Jesus, but I'm with Mary Kay, same thing, right? There's other people trying to do other things. Okay, and so I want y'all to focus on what you set out to do at the beginning of this year, at the beginning of July, when you start the seminar year, at the beginning of January 2020, when you're going to make a change. And I just want to encourage you today that it is not over. For any of you that feel like it is and you're not seeing the result, it's not over. It's not over. And it is time to just okay, we're going to buckle down and we're going to get this done. Another tip I was going to tell you is the eye patches. They are really selling like hotcakes, and people can see an instant difference. So if you really haven't got those eye patches out and tried those, I think that's really going to help you. And that's something that you can sell. Of course, the repair set, the time-wise set, and things like that. So, just make some effort today and tomorrow. What I did is the other day, I'm like, I don't know. I just felt like I got to get something done. So I just made me a list. And on my list, I just put down, these are prospects. And some of these are people that I talked to in December who I thought, they wanted to do it, but they didn't. So I'm revisiting all the ones that I've already talked to about selling. And then I put people that are on my team, but they just hadn't got started. Let me go back to them and see what I can do to help them get started. And then I have a list of booking prospects. And you know what I did is I had some already and some people I've been thinking about, but I also, and I want to tell y'all to do this, is go through your phone and go through your text messages. And if you're like me, I never clean them out. You might be better than me. But your text messages and your messenger, like your Facebook Messenger, and go through and look at the names. Look at the names. Who had you talked to really in December and they said, I'm too busy, or you had something booked and they canceled? Maybe you can go through and it will jog your memory of some people that you can follow up with. And you can say, hey, you know what? I know we hadn't talked for a month. I know we were super busy, but and then you offer it to them again. Okay. So that could give you a name. That helped me, get 5 or 6 names immediately. And some people that I forgot that I was even talking to, So get you a list going tonight before you go to bed. Okay. According to what time zone you're in, if you're in California, you got time to call them tonight. Get excited. But the rest of us East Coast people, you can at least get your list started, and then you can get ready. So in the morning, you know who you're going to be contacting. Because the first thing is just thinking of some people, right? And you could get some of your profile cards and look on the back. Have you contacted every single person that gave you a referral from your profile cards at your parties? I guarantee you probably haven't. So those are just kind of the things I was thinking about today, as far as just pressing on, not giving up, and let's make this month count, as far as our orders and our agreements and everything like that. I know we can do it, you guys. And so thank you. There's 21 people that just have jumped on the YouTube site. So, hey, thank y'all. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it. This is going to be a short YouTube training, and then I'm going to go to Zoom, and I'm going to get some feedback from the other sales directors, and then I'll post that on YouTube in just a little bit. So thank you guys. I see all your comments here. It's good to see everybody, and I love being able to see your comments right there on the side. So we'll try this again next week, and I'll just go live. It won't be a link. You can just go to my channel, and you'll see me live around 9 o'clock, okay, Eastern time. All right. Thanks, everybody. Zoom people, y'all stay put.